I was at ACE, and around the time that SAFE joined the Massachusetts Environmental Justice Alliance, we were approached by the Point Neighborhood Association to help to bring some legal resources so that they could help educate the city of Salem in negotiating the community benefits agreement when the facility was transitioning from coal over to gas. I know there was a lot of concern at that time from the neighborhood that, coal was really bad. It had lasting negative impacts that I think the city is still seeing to this day. And a gas plant was still going to be a polluting source. And so the goal was to have a longer term vision that got toward clean energy in the future, and that along the way there needed to be community benefits. So the Point Neighborhood Association as well as SAFE were really active in trying to make sure that the actual people living in the shadow of the gas plant would still be able to have some benefits beyond just economic. I know there was work that SAFE was doing with Conservation Law Foundation, Clean Water Action, HealthLink, and a number of municipal and state elected officials.
The plant owners and the lobbyists for the plant tell us all the time they are meeting just the letter of the law, supposedly, in terms of pollution requirements, although CLF has pointed out that their emissions actually are in violation of current law.
That led to a settlement agreement in 2014 that ensured a shutdown of the the gas plant by 2050. So the goal, I think, for SAFE and for the Point Neighborhood Association was to look beyond just what was going to be a gas plant and look toward the future. So Pat and Karen were at the forefront of those discussions with Conservation Law Foundation, and I know that they were instrumental in educating this bigger regional environmental organization through its legal battle against Footprint.
The fact that gas leaks was killing trees was really unknown to so many people, and saving trees is, one of those things that's, why would anybody not want to save trees from something that was killing them? So, I really enjoy going to Salem. I've loved the city for a long time. I did work there for Boston Gas back in the 80s and have been going up there. My sister went to Salem State, and I think might even had you, Pat, and is a professor back in the 70s. But just a beautiful place, and what's really great is this saving trees is something for everybody.
And we had our meeting in August where we invited Pat and Dr. Luna to talk about the gas leaks in Salem. So that was 2 weeks before the actual explosion. And it was just, I was shocked and saddened by what happened after. Glad that you were able to attend and give information, very important information to the residents in attendance at the time, and the opportunity to have their homes tested as well. It was very informative to hear about how the gas leaks affect the trees, and the fact that one of the biggest, or I guess highest levels of the leaking was on Peabody Street, a street where I lived in for many years, and I recall in the past always that smell of gas in the street. And there was a tree right in front of the building that never really flourished, and little did I know that that was one of the reasons. And to then hear that that was one of the highest levels was just really shocking.
Karen and Pat, when you invited me into your home and onto the streets of Salem almost a decade ago for our research on gas leaks, I never imagined how much my life would be enriched through our friendship. I knew our research was uncovering an injustice, but your example has shown me how justice can be achieved not only with the facts of science, but with unwavering conviction and commitment, and with compassion, inclusion, and kindness, building a diverse and powerful community of allies. I'll never forget being a guest at SAFE meetings at your home, tackling the gas leaks problem, but with yummy snacks, great conversations, and getting to know fabulous people bringing so many different skills to the table. I continue to be inspired by your example of finding pockets of hope during the challenging times and building the democratic economy, democratic classroom, and a society based on equality and inclusion that is a future worth working for. I look forward to continuing our work together.
SAFE would pretty regularly sponsor the Earth Days event on campus at Salem State University, and Pat was actually a founding member of the Earth Days committee, which has been going on, the Earth Day celebrations rather at Salem State have been going on for more than 20 years. It's probably been over the last almost decade at this point. I've been regularly not regularly, but periodically working with her on different projects, and usually the way it works is Pat calls and I show up. So, because I've learned that whatever she's doing is worth doing, and working with her is always a lot of fun, and she's such a pleasant person to work with, and I learn from her professionalism too. People like Pat and Karen are what you want volunteers to be. People who said, I have the desire and I have the motivation and I have the time, or I'm going to make the time, and I will be devoting my resources to doing something because I can, because I want to. And I think that's precisely what we ask of anybody who has resources, to do that, even though it's actually very rare, unfortunately, right? A lot of people give, I think, but giving your time is a different animal altogether.
What I would like the Salem community and the next generation to do to pick up on the legacy of Pat and Karen is to understand that they began this work not as elected officials, but as everyday members of our community who had a deep passion for environmental justice, and they took that passion, they turned it into a plan, they brought others to the table, and they organized. They didn't just agonize about our future, they did the work that was necessary to create change. And for our young people, you're experiencing the climate crisis. The oceans are rising, our storms are getting more intense. This planet, this time is so dangerous, and our planet belongs to you. And I want you to take the example of Pat and Karen and replicate it for your own lives, because we need your voices. You are not the leaders of tomorrow, you are the leaders of today. And their life example is a very clear indication that you too can help lead our community into a clean energy future.
I've had the good fortune to know Pat and Karen for a number of years. They've always been strong supporters, and we've always been able to engage in really meaningful conversations about what can we do today that's going to help the generation of tomorrow. I appreciate their collective action, but mostly I appreciate their chutzpah. If there's a tough fight, an issue that you know is important, that's going to need more people around the table, if there's an underdog that is being unseen, Pat and Karen are in their corner. And it's been just such an honor and really a privilege to be able to work with them on everything from Community Preservation Act to ensuring that Salem is a strong and healthy community moving forward in a way that really led with results in mind. So I want to thank you for the work you've done and for your friendship and your support. And without you, I know that Salem and SAFE wouldn't be the great organization in place that it is.